always use a blanket to sit on instead of a block. You can sit on the edge of your blanket just to help take pressure off the lower back. And today we're going to use it specifically for opening the chest at the end of class, just to prepare for a really relaxing Shavasana. And when we get to that point, what I will recommend, just as a little preview, is that you roll your blanket evenly. You want it to be like, roll it into like a little circular cylinder shape. And then what we'll do is lie on it, and it will either stop at your neck, in which you will use a block under the head for support, or maybe your blanket's long enough that it'll support your head and you can have your butt off of the blanket and just have it opening the chest. So for me, it's a little more comfortable to have my tush on the floor and then the blanket supporting the whole spine. But you can play with that at the end of class, but that's what we're going to use it for. So that might affect what blanket you bring on board. Okay. The thing about restorative yoga too is that when we use the blankets and the props, it's really important that we are folding carefully and not being kind of haphazard about it, because it will really affect your body to kind of haphazardly roll something up. Your body will definitely feel it. So it takes a little extra time, but it's worth it. Okay, so Hanukkah Yoga Part 2. We're going to start with some breathing stretches, which we've done before. So we'll start seated. You can do this from a chair if you'd like. I'll turn sideways so you have a little better view. So start to arch just your upper back. Arch your upper back, open up the chest, and tuck your chin toward your chest. And take a big breath in, and then hold it for a second. And then exhale, release. You can also do this with your hands behind you. It's up to you, whatever feels better. I'll do it like this as well. Fingers behind, press your chest open, tuck your chin, breathe in. Hold it, breathe out, and relax. Again, arching the chest, tucking the chin, take a breath. Exhale. As you see, I'm just going from one to the other, arms behind and arms in front. Pressing the chest open, tucking the chin, breathe in. And exhale. Relax. Good. So just getting those pectoral muscles, front of the chest open. And now you can definitely keep your hands in the front, because we're going to round the upper back. So rather than scooping in a cat-cow kind of fashion, we're going to keep the lower back steady, and we're just going to bring the shoulders down away from the ears. That's really important. And then bring the shoulders forward. Pull your belly in and reach past your knees. Try to reach past your knees till you feel the muscles between your shoulder blades really opening and spreading, and then tucking your chin and take a big breath in. Feel those muscles stretching, hold your breath. Exhale, relax, come back to upright. We'll do that a few more times. Pull the belly in, round the back, drop the shoulders, tuck the chin, breathe in. Exhale, relax. And last time, navel in, round the upper back, drop the shoulders, tuck the chin, breathe in. And exhale, release. Good. Just do some shoulder circles, release any tension there. Tilt your ear toward your shoulder, just choose a side to start with, and just gently breathe into the neck. Take your opposite hand from the side that you're bending or tilting the head. Take the opposite hand and reach diagonally out to the side. And let that reaching help to open the neck a little bit more. Breathe. And then open the hand now as if you're pressing into a tabletop, just diagonally. away from that head. Ooh, do you feel that stretch in your arm and maybe even in the chest? Good, release. Good, look straight ahead. Tilt your other ear to your other shoulder, just straight down so that the weight of your head takes the neck into a stretch. And then when you're ready, take that arm, the same side that's stretching, you're gonna reach out your arm with a soft fist and reach away from the neck. And then open up your fingertips and press through your palm as if you're pressing into a tabletop. Get the stretch in the arm, chest, and neck. Good, and release. Good, just notice any changes just from those couple of neck stretches. Tilt your chin towards your chest and do some half circles, just opening up the back of the neck. Good, look straight ahead. Take your right hand down to the floor and reach your left arm up and just a little lean, just diagonally leaning and reaching with those fingertips. Keep your sits bones on the floor and then rotate your chest open a little more toward the sky. Take a big breath in and exhale, release. Other side, inhale, reach up, pull the belly in, lengthen the whole right side of your body, and then lean over to the left. Open the chest, big breath, and release. Good, shoulder shrugs. From here, we'll go into some belly breathing, a little meditation to start the class and a reading. So feel free to close your eyes and start to bring attention to the lower body, whatever that you're sitting on, whatever's supporting you, just noticing that. Let your body get a little heavier. And notice the quality and pace of your breathing. As you breathe in through your nose, see if you can expand the lower belly as if you're filling the lower belly with air, as if it were a balloon. And then when you exhale, pull the navel in, activate those abdominal muscles, and just squeeze every drop of air out of your lungs. And do this a few times. Really working on isolating the lower belly, the lower lobes of the lungs. You might feel muscles stretching that you didn't know you had as you're focusing on expanding the lower belly. And now bring your hands to your ribs. Sometimes it's easier to crisscross the arms just to nestle them into the ribs, or you can hold the ribs from side to side. Make sure that you relax your shoulders as much as possible. And with the next few breaths, you can start with the belly, expanding the belly, and then carry that breath up into the rib cage. And feel your ribs expand and press into your hands. Again, pressing and squeezing all the air out of your lungs. And as you breathe this way, it may feel like an umbrella opening. Relax your hands. Just bring one of them to the lower belly and the other one to the upper chest. And now connect all these three areas. So starting with the lower belly, feeling that first, moving into the ribs, all the way up into the chest and upper back. As you breathe completely, you'll feel most likely your shoulders rise a little bit. This is called 3-part breath, or dirga. It's really helpful for insomnia and stress reduction, pain relief. Take one more round. And then as you exhale that last breath, go ahead and rest your hands on your thighs with your palms up. Relax the muscles of your face, your upper body. And now take a moment to imagine that the air that you breathe in front of you is illuminated, just glowing and illuminated, whatever color calls to you right now, and just breathe that color, that light in. Breathing in light. Breathing out light. Call that breath deep within. Draw it into your cells, into your heart. Stay with this visualization if it works for you as I offer the reading for today. This is from the book This Joyous Soul by Alden Soloby. It's called Holy. Holiness surrounds me, fills the empty space. Wondrous luminosity, radiance, and grace. Pulsing, pulsing, heavenly embrace. Pulsing, pulsing to this human place. The artist and the canvas, the sculptor and the stone, the composer and the notepad, the potter's clay is thrown. Creating foundation, creating sky and earth, vast and small, present, yearning to be known. Holiness is waiting, here and now and strong, waiting for a witness, a hallelujah song. Painted by your light, sculpted, drafted, formed, story, dance, and music, miracles performed. My heart will be your vessel, a vessel for this light, collecting sparks and glimmers, a marvelous delight. Holiness is waiting, here and now and strong, waiting for a witness, a hallelujah song. Begin to inhale and bring the arms up overhead. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Again, inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling to the heart. One more time. And exhale. We're going to do just a seated twist. So bring your left hand to your right knee or thigh and reach your right hand back behind you. Just a gentle twist as you gaze over your right shoulder. Drop those shoulders away from your ears. Engage the lower belly. Breathe in and out. Release your hand, slowly rotate to the other side. Rooting down through your sits bones as your spine elongates, gazing over the right shoulder. Breathing in and out. Good, come back to center. If you have a blanket under you, you might remove it. I am actually not sure what will feel better for your body, but you can try without a blanket. We're gonna go ahead and stretch your legs out. If you've been with your knees bent like I have, just stretch them out. Just do a little tapping. Say good morning to those wondrous legs. Little shake from side to side. We're gonna go into an, I don't know what else to call it, an L stretch. I'm sure it's called many things. It's a seated stretch. And we're gonna bring our legs into 90-degree angles. So go ahead and I won't mirror you, so just follow my verbal instructions. So you're gonna bring your right leg out in front of you, and imagine that you could just draw a straight line from your hip straight out to your knee, just straight up in front of you, and then draw another straight line, 90-degree angle from your knee to your right ankle, and then your foot will be flexed. So you've got this little L shape. And then the back leg, you'll probably want to lean over onto your right hip and scoot your back leg back a little bit, because you want your left hip bone to also draw a line straight out to the side to your knee, and then shift your lower leg out so that your knee is lined up with your ankle. So you've got this little L shape in both directions. And you're going to be not on your hip bone on that left side, but you are rooted into the right side. And we're just going to bring our fingertips forward and start to lean forward over the right knee. And play with this. You can come to the center a little bit more. I get more of a stretch when I move to the center. So play with where you feel a stretch or an opening. You can always use blocks. All kinds of creative ways, right? You could come onto your elbows with your blocks, or one elbow for support. Keep your navel pulled in and your back flat. And just play. Just start to explore the feelings in the right hip. So just a closer view. This is about as close as I can get, and you can, I'm still on the screen. Sitting on the right hip. I'll do it from the side. Looks like this from the side. Maybe that will help. So a little L in the front and a little L in the back. So watch my fingers trace and trace. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so if you've been in this stretch for a little bit, you can press yourself out of it, and we're gonna stay here, but do a little lean to the side. So lift your left arm up and reach it over to the right, and then bring that hand down, and then reach your right arm up and lean over to the left. Good. Okay, we're gonna change sides. So it's like a little mermaid. Just start with just having your legs tucked behind you, and then start to fine tune that. So we're gonna bring the left knee out in front in an L shape with the ankle, and then scoot that back leg back a little bit, so you can try to get an L shape from the hip to the knee, and then the knee, right angle to the ankle. Pull the belly in, and then start to find the stretch. Where is this for you? Do you come to the center? Do you come to the side? Blocks or no blocks? Notice in your hips, or in what part of your body do you feel this? Release tension in the jaw. Two more breaths here. And then press yourself up, staying with your lower body as is, or feel free to tuck your knees in if it feels better just to sit like mermaid style. Reach your right arm up and over. Good, and then change sides. Reach the left arm up and over. Good, okay, we're gonna switch now to come to our hands and knees. Go ahead and start with a child's pose, just to release any tension in the lower back. Let your forehead rest on the floor. And as you rest in child's pose, just take a moment to recall, if you were present for last week's Hanukkah class, the idea of rededicating. And to what are we rededicating ourselves? To what, to whom, what purpose? What's your why in life? And just reminding yourself of your own rededication. We're going to come up to all fours. If at any time your wrists get sore or tired, you can just give them a rest. You can come onto the knuckles or the fingertips. Just move through a couple of cat-cows, rounding the back. So this time we can get the lower back involved, just rounding and tucking the tailbone. Being mindful, if you have osteoporosis, not to come into the rounding, but you can come into the arching of the cow pose. Just a few cat-cows. And imagine with every arch and with every tuck that you're weaving light in between the vertebrae of your spine. Every time you arch, you just pull that light up into the upper spine more and more. Go ahead and take a couple more. And rest in tabletop. We're going to take a little side plank. So bring your left hand to the floor in front of you and extend. Actually, let's stretch the calf first. So you can just keep your hands where they were and just reach the right leg out and stretch that calf a bit. Press into the toes, reach the heel back. Just a little calf stretch. You can even softly rock forward and back, just warming it up. Good, and now bring the left hand to the center a bit more and start to bring your hips to face forward. So the bottom leg, the left leg, the foot's going to probably come behind you a bit for balance. And you can keep your right foot on the floor, flat on the floor, and then just reach your arms up. The right arm, not both of them. That would be not a good idea right now. Breathe. And then feel free to reach over the head just to get a nice side body stretch. You might even move the arm with the breath, inhaling, kind of swimming the arm in circles. If that works for your shoulder, you can go both directions. I like inhaling, reaching up and out. Good. One more. Good. So we're on the right knee, or the left knee right now, and we're going to just come on up. So here we are on the left knee. Feel free to adjust yourself if you need to. If you have sensitive knees, you grab that blanket and place it under the knee. A block is fine if you need a block, just in case. You always have a block nearby. It's always helpful. So we're going to keep the right foot on the floor. We've done this stretch one other time in class. I'll turn sideways so you can see me a little bit better. We're going to get into the inner thigh by starting to sit back. Just a little. Keep your belly engaged. So if you need a block in front of you just for support, I'm going to come almost pretty much all the way down to my ankle and then back up. But you don't need to. You can just come down a little bit. Notice how my back is still fairly flat. I'm not rounding. I'm just starting to sit back. You're going to feel this hopefully in your inner thigh and then come back up. So we're warming up that inner thigh, those adductors, dynamically, stretching them out, and we're strengthening the quadricep muscle on the left leg. One more time. Good. And then go ahead and bring that leg back. We're going to switch to the other side, so come back into your all fours position, and then stretch the left leg out. So those toes are on the floor, pressing into your mat, and then just reach the heel back behind you. Engage your belly, and maybe rocking forward and back. As you rock back, really press your heel as if it's going into a wall. Good. Pause here. Bring your right hand a little more to the center for balance, and then start to rotate your chest to the front again, so that bottom leg, the right leg, the shin might swing out behind you for balance. Left foot is on the floor. So again, fingertips, knuckles. You could even use a block if you need to. And reach your arm up. Spread those fingers. And feel free to move with the stretch. Inhale. Keep your breath flowing. That's the most important part. Good. Last time. Good. And then I'm just going to come up onto this knee. That's my stabilizer right now. And keep the left leg extended with the foot on the floor. Pull your belly in. I can't stress that enough. We want to keep this out of the lower back, and just start to sit back just a little bit. Feel the inner thigh stretch, and then come back up. So you're really warming up your quads here. So we won't be doing any chair poses today, because this is quite strengthening. And whatever little bit you can do is fine. Just keep breathing. Last time, maybe pause. Good, and then bring that left leg underneath you and take another child's pose with the knees really close to stretch the lower back out. Rest your head on the floor or block. And let out a nice big sigh. Again, let out a sigh. Okay, we are going to come up to standing. You're going to want to have your massage ball with you for this. Let's start with some foot massage. So right foot, just drawing a line from each toe all the way down toward the heel, coming back to the next toe and the next toe, just a nice ironing out. Noticing any sore spots. Ooh-wee. And inner arch is always so good to give attention to. We will do one balance pose today, so we want to open up the feet. Find one spot in your foot that is tender that could use a little extra TLC. And find that spot and just place your weight down on it just a little bit. Not enough to make you cringe, but enough that you want to take a deeper breath into it. And just pause and do nothing. Just pause and imagine that the foot is just melting over the ball. Good, and release. And change sides. You could even imagine that your feet are like wax today, right? Like we're like the candles in the Hannukiah. And when we soften the feet, as if we were softening wax, right? I know I have to light the bottom of my candles to help them to stay placed in the Hannukiah. So thinking of that softening in order to create foundation and strength from which to rise. Ironing out all the parts of the feet. Softening the wax. And then finding one spot that might need a little extra attention right now in this moment, and letting yourself pause in that space and breathe. Good. Okay. Let's place the ball off to the side and stand with your feet hip width apart just for a couple of half sun breaths. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold forward, come all the way down as much as you can, and bend your knees if you need to. So don't worry about having to have your legs straight. You can just work on resting your chest toward your thighs and releasing the weight of your head. So we get some traction in the neck here. Big deep breaths, stretching the muscles behind the heart. And then pull the navel in. I'd like you to look up first, then reach your arms out and rise up to standing. Good, hands to your heart. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Take a couple of breaths here. You can even you can bend one knee and then the other, just like you're walking in place. Just warming up all the back of the leg muscles. Good, and then engage the belly, rise up with a flat back. Gather light, gather light, gather light, and bring it in. So we'll bring the feet together now and imagine that we are just a candle getting ready to go into that Hannukiah. So I want you to bring your feet together really close. I want you to squeeze your inner thighs together, really activate the legs. Pull the navel in, shoulders back and down, and then reach your arms up overhead and bring your palms together so that your fingertips are touching and everything's in a little point. So there's your little candle wick. Breathe here, and now feel that sense of melting the feet into the holder, the candle holder. So maybe rocking from side to side a bit, forward and back, just nestling in and rooting yourself as deeply as you can into that support beneath you. Breathe in, and then we're gonna flicker our light just a little to one side. Keep breathing, and then up, and then to the other side. Keep your candles strong so those legs are firm. Come back up. Maybe a little flicker toward the back. And back up. And then keeping the bottom of the candle strong, just start to shine light. So I know you can't see my hands, but they're just, fingers are spread wide. Spread wide, shine light. And then bring the hands back together. Breathe in. Exhale. Shine light. Draw the tips of the shoulder blades together. One more. Good. And then just start to float the arms down and release your legs. Let's do some things to strengthen our immune system. So always we try to get into the 3 thumps. So let's tap right under the collarbones. Tap, tap, tap. Nice and firm. Firm fingertips. Breathing in and out through the nose. Get all along the inside underneath of the collarbone so I know you're getting the right spot. And then center of the chest. Let's smile and ah. Ready? Ah. Good. Remember, smiling is also an asana. Ah. Very nice. And then knock on your chest. Keep your knees soft. Just tap on the ribs. Did I say chest? Knock on your ribs. Tap, tap, tap. Waking up that spleen meridian. Good. Shake that all out. Since we've got a nice wide stance here, we'll take the breath of joy. So that's 3 inhales, sniff, 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 exhale. So in, and then out. Ready? So it's up, out, up, down. In with the breath, out. Stir up that joy. Stir up the light. Couple more. Last one. Good. And just stand with your feet under your hips and just feel the light, feel the tingling, the energy in your body. We're going to go through some standing poses. So we'll start with warrior 2 on the right. The right foot is the front foot to start. Let's see if I can mirror you this time. Right foot to the front of your mat, bend the knee, and just do a little check for alignment. So I want you to make sure that your front heel is lined up with your back arch and that your back leg is turned in just a bit. Outer edge of the foot is on the mat. So if it's lifting up, then adjust your stance so that you can keep the back foot on the floor. Rooted, little candle feet in their spots. Open up the arms, gaze over that right arm and breathe. Keeping your core pulled in, we're going to take side angle. So bring that leading arm, the front arm, into the knee and lift the left arm up overhead, maybe even over the ear. Breathe. Rotate your heart, so reach your heart up. Press into your feet to float back to warrior 2, and then we'll reverse or exalt our warrior. Drop your back hand, flip your front hand, reach to the heavens, reach, 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 maybe reach back. Keep your front knee bent. And then come back to side angle. Nice and slow, there's no rush here. On your own, you're going to dance between reverse warrior and side angle. Keep your belly pulled in. You notice that your legs are working hard, especially your front leg. And then float back to warrior 2 when you're ready. Good. We're going to go ahead and just turn the feet and set up for the other side. So those left toes point straight forward, knee is bent, back leg turns in a bit, front heel to back arch alignment. So a lot of times we reach into a warrior pose. I want you to see if you can get those shoulders rising up directly up from the hips. We also tend to hike the hip up of the back extended leg. So even if you have to feel your hips and level them out, see if you can level them out and then bend that knee and breathe. Gazing over the left hand, find your inner warrior, your inner purpose, what's worth fighting for your rededication. And then side angle, bring that front arm inside the front knee, reach the left arm up or overhead. Keep breathing. Engage the core, float those arms back up to warrior 2, and then exalt your warrior. Reach your front arm up and back. Maybe gazing up. And then float, kind of dancing in between these two asanas. Come into your side angle as slow as you need to. Breath should be smooth. So if you're jaggedly breathing or holding your breath, then adjust the pace of your movement so that you can breathe with control. When you're ready, pausing in your warrior 2 again. Good, and give that leg a break. Start to turn your feet toward the long side of your mat. So we're setting up for our Prasarita Padottanasana, our wide-legged forward fold. Look at your toes. Draw a line, make sure that one foot's not back or in front of the other one. You can always come to the back of your mat and line up your heels on the back of the mat so that you know that your feet are equally placed. Pull the belly in and start to come forward halfway. So just come halfway. Use a block if you need to. Just stretching into those hamstrings for a few breaths. Okay, a little bend in the knees. At least that's what I like to do. And bring yourself back up. Bring your hands behind you and clasp your hands. If this is not available to you today, you can hold opposite elbows, or you can just reach back like you have big wings behind you. So we're going to keep whatever form of that open heart that works for you, and we're going to start to come down again halfway. Engaging the core. Maybe you can come all the way down now. In whatever shape works for you. If this does not feel good for your chest or shoulders, you can just let your arms rest toward the floor. No problem. Relax the head. If you have your hands clasped or your arms, you're reaching for opposite elbows, just really be mindful of taking those shoulders away from the ears, like toward the sky. One more breath. Good. Release your hands, whatever shape they're in. Rest here all the way, forward fold. Okay, we're going to press ourselves up, heel toe those feet in close together. Come on up. Ooh, that built some heat up in my body. I don't know about you. Okay. So for our balance pose, we'll take what's traditionally called Vrikshasana or tree, but we're going to think of that candle idea, that melting candle wax. So let's start with the left leg as your candle leg, and bring your right foot somewhere inside. So it can stay, your toes can stay down on the floor if you want to really feel more stable today or balance is a challenge, to where you feel like it's a safety issue. Calf or inner thigh. Ooh. Okay, and then you're pressing your foot into the candle, right, into the stabilizer leg. And the leg is pressing into the foot. So you're creating some strength there. And then we're going to bring the hands, if we can, to the heart here. And then start to grow, start to light that candle. And get those arms up overhead, just like we did earlier. Ooh, and if you wiggle and wobble, it's totally okay. Ooh, it's part of the process of growth, right? Keep breathing. Keep rooting that melty wax into the foundation, into the support, so that you can light your candle and then start to let that light radiate, that your arms come wide. Think of light pouring out of your heart and your hands. And then slowly, slowly come out of it. I don't know, but it feels like my leg is on fire, so I think that was effective. Let's try the other side. So we don't light the candle when it's just hanging out in the Hannukiah, right? It's like sideways, hanging there, unsafe. We don't just light it haphazardly. We make sure we warm it up, we place it in, we make sure it's stable. All of that needs to take place inside the body too, before we start to grow taller and bigger and reach wider and farther. And breathe. Good. Start to shine that light really all around you. Good, and then come on down when you're ready. Shake it out. We're going to come to the floor. So this time we are really going to go into deer pose. So you're just going to shift your weight to your right hips and just bring your legs back behind you a bit. So it's not as technical as that first stretch we did this morning. Just a little, this is deer pose. I think I called it mermaid. I think it's called lots of things. From here, we're just doing a twist. So left hand comes to right knee and coming into that twist that we did earlier. And this time we're going to twist to the other side. We're going to keep the legs as they are and just twist to the other side. This might feel a little tighter. Breathe. Good, come on out of that. And then just switch. So shift your weight over to the left hips, tuck your legs to the side. And then right hand to the left knee. Reach back behind you and twist to your left. Grow that spine nice and tall. And then slowly start to rotate to the other side. Use your knee and the floor as anchors. Good, come back to center. So here you have a choice. We're going to either do a figure 4 to, hip opener, or if you love pigeon pose, this is your opportunity to take pigeon. So we'll all start with that right leg as the first side that we work with. So if you're just doing modified with me, if we're going to do a modified pigeon, you'll come onto your back. If you are familiar with pigeon and feel confident with that, then go ahead and do that. So, and I don't like to teach it online because there's just so many things to look for, and I like to see everybody, so I don't usually lead with pigeon. So we're going to take right ankle over left knee, bring that left leg up toward our chest, and just nestle those shoulders down. So try to bring the tips of the shoulder blades together, holding onto the back of the left leg. If you're in pigeon, you've got your right knee forward as the lead leg, and trying to square those hips toward the floor. So those frontal hip bones will be aiming right down to the floor equally if you're in pigeon. And take a few breaths. And start to come out of this side. Take the second side. Release any tension in your jaw or your face and see if you can soften the muscles between your eyebrows. Focusing on the exhale as you melt with every release of breath. Okay, we're going to release this side. If you did take a pigeon pose, go ahead and join us on your back. We're going to hug our knees into our chest and just release, rock side to side. And we'll just take a final inner thigh stretch. So bring your feet to the floor and then let the knees fall open so the soles of the feet will be together like a little butterfly pose. Just to let the inner thighs relax. And if this is too much, you can just take your fists and slide them under the outer edges of your buttocks muscles. That can really help. Or you can always place blocks under your knees. So just taking like 5 breaths in whatever shape makes sense to you, feels good for you. Coming back in this shape to the belly breathing. So letting that belly soften and fill. And carry right into the ribs and chest. Let the muscles of the pelvis soften and melt. Good. If you have support underneath those legs, go ahead and remove that. We're going to roll to our side and come up for just a moment to set up our blankets the way I spoke about this morning at the beginning. So finding your, I'll start with like a square or rectangle, and then just rolling it into a cylinder. And again, if this doesn't feel good for you, let it go. Totally fine. So we're going to place it in the middle of the mat. And you might have a block under your head and lie on it, or you might have your head on it, depending on your neck and how it feels today. And you might just have your tush on the floor. And play with both. If you need to mess around with it or refold your blanket, we'll take a couple of minutes in this heart opener. Arms can be wherever you want them. Maybe you want them up overhead or maybe out to the sides. If your roll is too big and your butt's hanging off, it might feel like too much on your lower back, in which case, for those of you that are in that position, I would recommend having your butt on the blanket and shifting the support of a block to your head. So as the heart begins to open for these next minute or so, I'd like to invite you to bring to mind someone that has brought light to you recently. Maybe it was an act of kindness, a kind word, maybe an activity that you did that brought joy. Just bringing to mind something that really lit you up from the inside. Who shared their light with you. If you are on the blanket, I'll invite you to just roll to the side and remove it. You can even place it under your knees if you want. And start to prepare for Shavasana. So removing anything under your body that no longer feels supportive and lying back. And start to release all of the efforts of your body. Letting everything get heavy and soft. And as your body relaxes, I would like to invite you to join me in this visualization. Imagining that you have your own Hannukiah in your heart right in the center of your heart, in your soul, your soul's Hannukiah. And imagine what that looks like. What is it made of? It's your soul's Hannukiah, so it's probably pretty special. What's it made of? What color is it? And then you have your candles that we're going to light. And today we're going to light all 8 because I won't see you before the end of Hanukkah. What do your candles look like? Are they different colors? Are they all one color? As you hear the sound of the bell, you'll light a candle. And this candle is the candle of love. Placing your candle of love in your soul's Hannukiah. And the next candle is the candle of mercy. Lighting your candle of mercy and placing it in your soul's Hannukiah. The next candle is the candle of kindness. Notice if it's the same color or a different color. The candle of kindness. Light that candle. Notice your Hannukiah beginning to glow. Your next candle is the candle for peace. A dedication, rededication to peace. What does that candle look like? The next 4 candles are yours to dedicate. Every time you hear the bell, light a candle, make your dedication. Feel the warmth of the light of all of your soul's candles glowing within. Verachamim, Chesed, Veshalom, love and mercy, loving kindness and peace. Ahava verachamim chesed veshalom, love and mercy, loving kindness and peace. When you're ready, begin to deepen your breath and to awaken your senses to your surroundings. Before you turn to your side, and just take a couple of breaths on your side before you rise up to seated. Bringing your hands to your heart. Usually end each Neshamah yoga class with a prayer of may all beings have something. So I invite you to take this moment of silence to offer your dedications, your soul's dedications to the world. May all beings have these things. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.